Next, I will cover the limitations when filing a claim with the Labor Commissioner. These include the types of wages, the types of workers, and the time limits for a claim. These limitations decide who can bring a claim and when you can. First, the types of wages that the Labor Commissioner can hear claims about. The Labor Commissioner only handles wage claims involving certain types of wages, so it is important to know whether you fall into one of these categories. The types of wages that the Labor Commissioner can hear claims about are minimum wage, hourly wage, overtime wages, piece rate wages, commissions, deductions from pay, reimbursement of business expenses, severance pay, vacation pay, waiting time penalties, pay for not receiving meal periods, and bonuses. Next, the type of worker you are is also important in knowing whether you can file a claim with the Labor Commissioner. The Labor Commissioner does accept claims from workers who are undocumented. Citizenship does not affect your ability to access the wage claim process. However, the Labor Commissioner cannot take claims from certain types of workers. If you are an independent contractor, a union member, or a government employee, you are not covered by the Labor Commissioner. However, if you feel that you were wrongly classified as an independent contractor by your employer, you can bring a case to the Labor Commissioner and he will determine if you have been improperly classified. For more information regarding how to determine if you fall into any of these categories and where to file if you do fall into one of the categories, go to ulvjusticecenter.org and under Legal Information, go to Wage Claim and click on Filing a Wage Claim. You can also find information here on how to determine if you were wrongly classified as an independent contractor. Lastly, there are certain time limits regarding the amount of time you have to bring a claim regarding certain wages. This time limit is called a statute of limitations. The specific time limit that applies to you will depend on what kind of wages you are trying to collect. The time limit for wage claims always goes back from the date you filed the claim. If your claim involves minimum wage, overtime, illegal deductions, and unpaid reimbursements, the time limit is 3 years back from the date you file your claim. For example, if I wanted to file a claim on May 1st, 2020, I can only bring a claim for wages that I earned in the past 3 years, so I cannot bring a claim for wages that I should have received in May 2016 because I earned them 4 years ago. If your claim involves an oral promise to be paid a certain wage, that oral promise had to have occurred within 2 years from the date you filed. So if I want to file a claim on May 1st, 2020, the oral agreement had to have been made after May 1st, 2018. If your claim is based on a written contract, the agreement must have been formed within 4 years from the date you file. Those are all the limitations when making a wage claim with the Labor Commissioner. If all of these limits do not apply to you, you are good to make a claim with the Labor Commissioner. Now that you have made sure that none of the limitations apply to you, let's go over the process of filing a claim with the Labor Commissioner. I will cover the overall structure of the claim process, and then we'll go into detail on each step of the process, including the initial report or claim form, what happens after you file, the pre-hearing conference, the hearing, the burden of proof at hearing, the hearing structure, and the judgment and appeal. The process of carrying out a wage claim consists of filing the claim, the pre-hearing conference, the hearing, the judgment, and the appeal if necessary. At any point during the claim process, your employer may attempt to settle your claim by paying you any amount of your claim. In this instance, it is up to you to decide if the amount satisfies you. The first step of carrying out a wage claim is to complete and file the initial report or claim form. You can find this form on the California Labor Commissioner's website or at ulvjusticecenter.org, and under Legal Information, click on Wage Claim. After you complete the form, You can file it at the Labor Commissioner's office in the county that you worked in, not the county that you live in. You have the option to mail in the form or file it in person. If you choose to file it in person, you do not need an appointment to do so. You can find a list of local labor commissioners' offices on the ULB Justice Center website under wage claims. When you are filling out the form, make sure to have information regarding your employment easily accessible. The information you need to include on the form are the name and address of the business of your employer, whether or not an interpreter is needed, your rate of pay, the total hours you worked, whether or not you were paid at the time of discharge, if you kept a record of your hours worked, a brief explanation of the issues of your claim, the amount you are claiming, your driver's license number. However, you are not required to put this. The Labor Commissioner will still take your case if you do not have it. Lastly, your Social Security number. However, again, you are not required to put this, and the Labor Commissioner will not reject your claim if you do not have it. For a more detailed explanation on what information to include, go to ulbjusticecenter.org and under Legal Information, click on Wage Claim and go to the page Filing a Claim. So, what happens after I file the claim? After you file the claim form, the Labor Commissioner will decide how to proceed with your claim. You and your employer will generally receive a notice of claim in conference, which means your case is proceeding to a pre-hearing conference. Now, not all claims proceed to this conference, although most claims do.